Welcome to this week's edition of Fridays at 5. Today we're going to explore the huge wins, the cultural ground war, and how the faithful, that's you, can help us fight back for your rights. This last week, March 29th, 2019 to April 5th, 2019, will be remembered always by Californians who love freedom as Freedom Restored Week, and we will never forget that week. Judge Benitez wrote one of the most impressive decisions in modern Second Amendment history, and we encourage you to go to our website at CRPA.org and read that 84-page decision. It is a primer on everything that each of us gets questioned on all the time, from those emotional appeals of, well, how do we do that in the face of so many things that go wrong in our society? He provides those. For those of us that know of famous decisions like Heller and McDonald, but don't know how to explain it in lay people's terms, well, if you read Judge Benitez's decision, you'll be able to do that. And what's more, understand exactly what that decision does and doesn't mean. Now, we've had phone calls here at Fridays at 5 in the CRPA about, well, wait, that same judge that handed that down has changed his mind. No, he is still working to preserve what he put in, and he is forcing the state to have to come up with significant arguments that would be wholly politically based and not legally based to overturn his decision. We're waiting to see what happens in the appellate courts, but for right now, realize that decision is impressive and is the first of many that are coming your way over the next few months as we continue the fight here at CRPA against all the heinous things that were done under Proposition 63 and Gunmageddon. But that fight is not just limited for all of us to what's going on in the courts. That fight is also happening in other government agencies. The California Rifle Pistol Association and many other 2A groups have been fighting in individual parts of this state on what is now known the fight for land access. What is land access? Well, to many of us, we don't understand that unless it's in our particular genre of exercising our Second Amendment rights. Take, for example, hunters often do not talk to other people at the ranges because they're there sighting their firearms for the hunting season. But amongst them, they will tell you that many areas that allow you to go to access huntable lands are being cut off with all sorts of interesting restrictions of why they can't go in that sometimes make it look like that the only time there's a fire issue is the 3 weeks of hunting season of that land. Because prior to that hunting season and post it, there's no fire restriction. Looks a bit suspicious. One such fight that has recently heated up happened in San Diego County, where the local Bureau of Land Management, which is a federal agency manager, had said, yeah, can no longer shoot recreational shooting on any of the BLM land in San Diego. 2A groups throughout the county, individuals, as we said before on this show, fought valiantly and hard along with the CRPA, fighting from the top down, as we said in a previous episode. That fight led to Secretary Zinke's office and members of the Department of Interior sending 3 significant letters a couple of weeks ago, in fact on the same date as Benitez's decision, March 29th, that said, nope, can't do that, you got to reopen them. Well, just this week, that same BLM land manager said, oh yeah, watch. And as an Obama appointee, expanded from San Diego County to include portions of Imperial, Riverside, San Bernardino, Los Angeles, and Orange County that are now off limits. We want you to realize we recognize what's going on, and we're already talking to people all the way up to literally the White House to get this pushed back and changed. But this fight is not just here in Southern California. It's happening throughout the state. And so we're working on some lands that have been closed 7 to 10 years. But the problem is a lot of times we here at the CRPA and other organizations don't hear about because you out there aren't talking to us. We need you every time a sign goes up, a gate gets locked, and the reasoning doesn't make sense. Call us. Let us know. Take pictures. Get information to us. Because the sooner we engage them in this fight, the sooner we can get that land opened up. The war against your rights isn't just limited to land closures and litigation and legislation. It's also an open optic cultural war where they're trying to make you and me look like we're some kind of heinous criminal when we're not. How do we fight back? With the huge wins that we're seeing. This coming weekend in Southern California at Norco on Saturday, we personally will be running a crawfish boil, an event designed to normalize people's views of the gun culture and those of us that participate in it. Designed for families to come of all ages and have fun and see that it's not just about shooting, that we actually have lives. We're actually real people. That is one of the things that we're trying to get through to people. How else do we do that? Well, nobody loves anything during the summer or winter of even years like they do the Olympics. And a major part of the Olympics is USA Shooting, who will be at the crawfish boil, but you're going to see them in upcoming episodes up and down the state with us here at the CRPA as we bring Olympians to you in your local neighborhoods, as we get that Olympic spirit for Raise the Flag in 2020 going across not just this state, but the nation. We are out there promoting it because without those Olympians, we don't raise quite as high as we think we do in the medal count. In fact, USA Shooting is a major part of those medals that keep us as the #1 country in the world in the Olympics. And it also goes to youth, from Boy Scouts to Girl Scouts, but this week I want to highlight a special group, the California Grizzlies. They're one of many teams up and down the state that the CRPA helps co-sponsor. And our Grizzlies, which you'll get to see a picture in this video, did a phenomenal job. When you look at those kids that range from about 7 years old all the way up to 17, they're amazing at what they're able to do. They prove to the other side that youth can be responsible, they can learn leadership, and they don't do crazy acts of violence, which is against the narrative in this culture war that says that we're all crazy. I want to thank you for watching this week's edition of Fridays at 5. I want you to be sure that you follow us on social media and share it with your friends. Spread that news far and wide. And always come up here to keep up to date on the latest Second Amendment news. Links, as always, are in our descriptions down below. And remember, be safe always, and shoot straight always, and fight back always. And we'll see you next week.